Hey everybody, welcome to Bura. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about the one thing Udemy does to be a super profitable company. Alright, welcome back. So let's take a look at the stock here. So let's take a look maybe about the year here, and still we have gone down almost 60% if we're rounding up from the top here. So again, you can see that the downtrend has been quite significant here. Again, if you looked at my last video on Udemy, I did some technical analysis, and that technical analysis was really showed that it needed to break around 14, and I don't think it did. We had 14 and then or 1450, and so it hasn't done that here. So we're still looking for that here, but I wouldn't be surprised if that downtrend gets invalidated. And again, once it does, I'll make a technical analysis here. But one thing I do want to talk about here is that Udemy over the years has actually done a really good job in some cases, and then they just kind of forgot about the one thing that makes it really, really good. And what makes Udemy really good? Well, first of all, you get a bunch of people going to one spot to buy courses. Really, that's what Udemy does. And to be fair, they actually do a really good job at that. So whether that's computer programming or business or marketing, or it doesn't matter what you want to learn, you go to one spot, and that spot is Udemy, and they have a really good job there. The problem is that things were working quite well up until about 2015, and in early 2016, they decided to do a price change. They did it right before Udemy Live, which I should probably do a whole video about, by the way. But anyway, so they did a price change, and that just killed it. And since then, they've forgotten what makes Udemy good. You want people to go to one spot, and you want instructors to go to one spot too. But they don't attract new top talent here. And I'm not saying the people on Udemy or the top sellers are not talented. It's just that they're not really interested in attracting the new, like, entrepreneurial kind of course creators here. They're just not into that. So if, Steam, the App Store, they really try to curate the companies, and companies, not just individuals, but the companies that really want to innovate in the space. And I've talked about this at length here, but there's really no way to kind of innovate your courses. It's just kind of one way. And it's really Udemy's strict policies that make it like this. And in 2015, right before the price change, it's like they forgot this. They forgot that the marketplace is the bread and butter of their operation here. And they're really trying to make it into a subscription model, or trying to make it into UFB. And that's all good, but you can't forget the marketplace here. So as I said in the earnings call, the number one number you want to look at is the marketplace. Udemy should get the marketplace up to about $1 billion a quarter, or $4 billion a year. That should be their goal, but the only way that they're going to do that is they're going to have to loosen control and restrictions, and that's just a part of life here. Now, I'm going to take a look and compare it to Kickstarter. Now, I did a whole video about this in the past here, but I was just on Kickstarter today, and you can see here it's like the future of crowdfunding. They put up this whole article on their front page, and they have like these three things: the future of crowdfunding creative projects, and then this one's really big: Kickstarter won't make changes without you, and then some FAQs, right? So you can see here that if we just kind of read a few things here. So they've done about $6 billion of sales, right? That's huge, right? That's a lot here, right? This is the second paragraph here. Like, the first paragraph is going to talk about what you do. The second paragraph, it's estimated 750,000 part-time jobs, $80,000 full-time jobs, and over 20,000 companies has made over $13 billion of additional economic impact. Okay, I would love it if Udemy did this, right? But the problem is you can't start a company on Udemy. It's all about instructors, right? Single instructors. And, guaranteed, we can go into Kickstarter right now, right? Let's just do that here. And I've talked about this again and again. Like, these things are, everything that you see here, they're going to start a company. Like, this is the gaming company here. And if I just do discover, and then I say, projects we love, or trending, let's do the trending one here, okay? So you can see by popularity, we have this. I think this is a board game, because they really like their board games here. But, this creates a bunch of jobs, right? Is it a video game? Oh, it's a tabletop game again. Yeah, let's see. So this is something else. It's comedy. So there you go. It's like something. These are three different things here. But Kickstarter's really into the tabletop games. But anyway, you can see here that like this is a little gadget. You know, so of the top 6, 4 of them are tabletop games. And anyway, so if you wanted to do tabletop games on Kickstarter here, so this is really good. This is a video game. You know, we got some 3D printing. There's a whole bunch, like there's a bunch of creativity that can be done on Kickstarter. It's amazing, right? But here's the thing. You know, Udemy, if I said, hey, I'm creating 10 jobs at my company, silence, crickets, that's not good. We don't want you to make a company. That's really what Udemy is saying. And they've been saying that for, you know, basically the last 7 years. And I do remember 2016 fairly well. There were several companies, one of them being a cloud guru, by the way, you know, that were there and, you know, they were talking about, they even brought their employees to Udemy Live. But, you know, they just put the hammer on that and they stopped it. And as a result, nothing has really changed that much on Udemy. They really just want to sell subscriptions here. And that will reflect in the stock price here because the stock price can only go up so much because, again, the whole thing is that, like, is Udemy going to do a lot of, is going to do $6 billion of sales? You know, have they made that much? Maybe that's a good question to ask. But at the same time, though, they should shoot to make this a year and make companies. There should be a lot more companies on Udemy. That's pretty much what the answer this year. So, you know, this goes on and on here, but I really like, right, you know, what they're trying to do here is they're really trying to, like, the second paragraph is all about how the companies are successful here. And Udemy rarely talks about this. I think out of the last 10 years, because Kickstarter and Udemy are about the same age, right? Over the last 10 years, there's been like one article saying how much instructors have made. That needs to be more front and center, right? I need to see a company making $10 million on Udemy, right? We just need to see it, right? And it needs to have like 20 employees, right? And so you see that's just, you know, that's just what more we need to see. The second thing is this is really mind-blowing. We won't make changes to Kickstarter without you. And so this is just, you know, it's being like, polite, maybe a good answer, but it's being just, you know, it shows the Kickstarter that Kickstarter is telling its community, its creator community, that, you know, the way the platform works is not only just affects us, it affects you. And we have never seen this out of Udemy, ever. Every time that they come up with a big change, it's just like, we're doing this. No actual input. And over the years, especially when they had the Facebook group, they'd come up with a change and it would just get ridiculed because oftentimes it wasn't a good idea. And again, the price change was the most ridiculous thing ever. It's like they took everything that doesn't work about commerce and they put it in a policy change they just basically said it. And, you know, this is just unbelievable. So Udemy could really learn from Kickstarter, but I don't think they want to do this. Now, again, Kickstarter is a privately owned company. And by the way, I think as far as I know, Kickstarter has only received about $10 million in funding, whereas Udemy has like $800 million, right? That's a lot, right? That's so much more funding here. And, you know, I get that they're a publicly traded company now. And, you know, when they're a private company, they could probably get away more with this here. But the market, like, what is the market really saying about this here, right? If we do this here, the market is saying that, well, and I know that tech stocks and growth stocks are down, right? Like, we could do a Roblox thing here. But, like, you know, while they're down, right, it doesn't mean that they're kind of, you know, it doesn't mean that, that you know, if Udemy was really poised to grow, it wouldn't be down this much. It might be down like 25% here. But we'll see what happens here. But the thing is that the fact that they put this out here and they put out just, you know, a bunch of things that make sense. It doesn't really affect the creators because they know that people's livelihood depend on the platform, right? And that's why they do this. It's courteous, right? Just like I have employees. If I just made a bunch of changes, right, you know, that's not good to my employees. And Udemy just doesn't care. Like, it does not care about people making money. It doesn't care about companies creating jobs. It doesn't care about any of that stuff. And you might think, why should they? Well, believe it or not, even though the App Store a lot of people take, Apple gets a lot of heat for their 30%, but they actually do care about the companies, right? They lowered the percentage for small business. That's really cool. But not only that, is that they actually make changes so that companies can grow. And we just don't see that with Udemy here. And so the thing that Udemy is trying to do is it's trying to become like a business to business service that sells a subscription, when really, what they just need to do is be more like Steam or the App Store or even Kickstarter here. And in order to do that, we need to see a lot more language like this out here. It's like, how many jobs have they created, right? How many companies are on the platform, right? How many companies are on the platform? Other than that are not small instructors on Udemy, I think there's like 10, right? I don't think, or 20. Like, there's really not that many, right? But, so we really want to see more of that out of Udemy. And I just don't think that the market is going to really realize that here. And, the worst case scenario for Udemy is that it's going to get delisted. Now, the other thing is like Kickstarter, they came out in just the right time so that a lot of people go and do traffic here. And by the way, there's so many more paths to profitability here. It's like they're trying nothing and they're wondering why it's not working. And the reason is that they just don't really have that kind of innovative vision for the platform. Whereas Kickstarter, for all of what it's worth, they really do generate a lot of income for their creators, and that's kind of the whole point here. And by the way, if I kind of go back here, which one was it? They had a public benefit here. Basically, oh yes, what they're trying to do here is that this could, like, someone could make an alternative to Udemy with that it's kind of like this public benefit corporation, where they're obviously cares about profit, but the whole point of it is to just kind of generate profit for the users and the creators, right? And value, right? Because the whole point of starting a business is to do value here. So at some point in time, someone could just like they could just listen to what I'm saying on the channel, make that, make that public benefit organization, make sure that companies can thrive, and then Udemy could get delisted at that point. Now, is that going to happen? I don't know. And I do understand where Udemy's coming from. I know that corporate clients and corporate subscriptions are really, really key, but it could be so much more, and it just doesn't want to do that here. And the problem is they're going to have to say, and this is really hard for an individual, it's even harder for a corporation with investors to do, but they're going to have to say, look, we were far too restrictive on the marketplace. We need to start caring about the companies that want to grow, and we want to have maybe 10 or 20 companies that are $10 million plus on the platform. How do we do that? Well, we're going to have to loosen a ton of restrictions and revert the platform back, 7 years, plus a whole bunch more things that we've been fighting against for the last 10 years, right? And so that's what they're going to have to say. And I bet you if you do that, you will start to see the stock, it could probably go up to maybe $50, $60, right? I bet you would probably see that here. And, maybe they can even offer a dividend, because here's the thing about e-learning. The world changes so much that you have to learn new things or else you're going to be left behind. And like, I know this because I make an e-learning company. I learn all the time. I spend, the last 20 minutes of my, before I go to bed, just learning something new. You have to do it. You just have to do it. I subscribe to other e-learning sites. I'm always trying to learn here, and e-learning is going to be huge. It always is going to be huge. It's a really good business. In fact, Udemy could even become a value stock, which is kind of interesting, but not under its current path here. It does need to change a lot, all right? So that concludes this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.